Now this is a bit weird because I'm recording the intro for the video at the end of the video because I forgot to do a good intro explaining what we're actually doing, so I kind of just hopped into it. Today, we are rebuilding our Ultimate Death Knight for a little bit more use in the arena, live arena, and tag team arena areas of the game, of course. We do have the free regear event going on for another 8 hours and 45 minutes as well, so this is pretty much the perfect time to go ahead and rebuild him. And I'm going to be walking you through how I'm building him for survivability using the Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer. Let me know if you guys are interested in any sort of takeovers or coaching or anything like that. I do have a Discord link down in the description, so feel free to pop in there with any questions or anything like that you might have. Let's go ahead and hop into the video. Folks, I have raised my chair, so you're going to see a little bit of my chest in this video. As you can see, he's built out in a full 6-piece of stone skin, and these are his stats. So we're sitting at 66k on the HP, 4800 on the defense, 119 on the speed, and 592 on the resistance. I am very confident, though, that we can actually get a better build out of this champion. So let's go ahead and search him up inside the Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer here. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to Optimize, and let's see what we can do. So we can do a couple things here with the modes. We could do survival mode, so you know what, we'll try that. We'll go stats. We don't really want a min or a max here for speed or anything like that. You know what, let's go ahead and change it. I want this to be balanced. Stats, we're going to do essentially a priority 1, so the highest priority. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you as well so that you can hopefully see it. We're going to do a priority 1 on the HP, and we're going to do a priority 2 on the resistance. Sets, let's go ahead and add a set, and I, of course, want him in stone skin, so we're going to go ahead and add that, and I would like a 6-piece stone skin. We're going to go ahead and add set once again, and okay, so let's see if we can turn this down to maybe a 4-piece. Yeah, there we go. Let's try that. So they haven't updated this quite yet, so I want this to be... I'm thinking we might try the freeze set, so I forget what it's called exactly. I think it's frostbite, maybe? Let's go ahead and take a look here. I want to try the 2-piece freeze set on this guy because he is obviously going to be taking quite a bit of hits, so I think it would be good to have him in this. Let me show you the set that we're talking about here. It's all the way down here. It's the one from the Doom Tower. Yeah, Frostbite. So 15% chance to block freeze debuffs, which is kind of whatever. We're not really getting frozen in live arena. And a 10% chance to place freeze debuffs on the attacker. So that 10% is what we are hunting. And of course, I am using Ultimate Death Knight mainly in the live arena and mainly inside the tag team arena, as well as classic arena and all those sorts of good things. So that's kind of what I'm building him for. If you were using him in PvE or something like that, you might build him a little bit differently. We're going to go over to configure. We're going to include artifacts on locked champions except for priority 5. I don't want that. What we're going to do as well is, if I do... I think it's inside the... There's a section in here, glyphs. So we're going to go ahead and say that we're okay doing basically like a 4-star glyph on pretty much everything here, because I definitely would be, and I have plenty of 4 stars. So we're going to go ahead and optimize and see what we get with these particular parameters. It might take a while in some instances, so the effective HP goes up by 106,000, which is a 23% increase. We get 26,000 more on the HP, so he goes up to 93,000, and then 4,200 on that. However, we do lose quite a bit of resistance there, which I'm actually wanting a little bit more resistance to be on him. So let's go ahead and change the priorities if we can. Let's go ahead and do a 1 and a 2. We'll try something like that. I'm still obviously okay with having fairly high defense, so we still have... It's still giving us pretty much the same thing here. So it looks like these might be the best builds that we can get with the stone skin. Let's go ahead and go to sets. Let's turn this down to a 4-piece and see if we can optimize and get something a little bit more juicy. So we actually gain a little bit of resistance. We get a lot more HP. Let's see how this one looks. So we have stone skin, and then yeah, we have a frostbite. So the stone skin accessories are what's giving us some of it here. I think I still want to have him in the full 6-piece stone skin though, so we'll go ahead and optimize for that once again. I think it's more important just to have him in that 2-turn stone skin more than anything. So this build is looking pretty good. What do we got going on here? We got the frostbite on the top pieces here. Very nice triple HP piece here, as well as a triple HP piece here as well. We got a resistance resistance chest piece, which is okay. It has an HP ascension on there, which is quite nice. 5-star here. What I'm going to do as well real quick is I'm going to go ahead and check and see if there's any sort of like stone skin pieces or anything like that that I don't really have rolled up, and there is actually quite a few. So some of these could end up being decent pieces as well, especially if they had like an HP main stat like this. Like for example, if this rolls like quad resistance or something like that, that's going to be crazy, but of course it doesn't. Pretty trash piece, all things considered. We got resistance here, nothing too crazy. Flat defense. I'm going to go ahead and sell this actually. It is hard to tell sometimes what you want to sell specifically because, of course, you know, Stone Skin is such a high priority set. I am actually going to go ahead and check my Stone Skin here as well. So what do we have for Stone Skin? We really just have like 2 pieces, which definitely limits our options. This is an attack amulet, which is okay, I suppose. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't rework it, and let's hope for maybe like a defense main stat or something like that. Crit damage, HP, resistance, attack, defense. Not that good in all honesty. So this is all we have for Stone Skin stuff. So this is like an attack banner with pretty trash rolls and then a defense. So yeah, it makes sense how we're not getting the good rolls that we want to see. I'm actually going to go ahead and rework this as well because these stats are pretty terrible. So we get an attack main stat, double onto flat HP, defense, attack, roll. This is terrible. I wish that was like resistance or something like that. That would be nice. If we go and take a look at the Stone Skin set bonus, we do want to get the full 6-piece here though. So this is definitely kind of something you have to consider when you're building champions too. I think overall we are probably going to equip this though, and then we'll see how he plays. So let's come in and get the accessories done first, and we're going fitting room. The particular accessory that we're looking for is actually a Merciless. There's a lot of... where are we going here? Holy moly. Alright, so that's an HP. I'll go ahead and throw that on. This is an equipped piece on Khafru. Khafru is a champion that I keep meaning to do a review on at some point as well. He's a very interesting ally protection champion. And then we have Khafru with our banner as well. So we'll go ahead and throw that on. Now we're going to come over here to the regular gear pieces. We have an equipped HP primary stat on Cardinal. There we go. We have a resistance equipped main stat on Khafru. There we go. We already have a resistance chest piece on our UDK as well, so switching over to that particular chest piece just makes sense, I suppose. We're taking this from Khafru here as well. We're going to go here. We're looking for substats of HP, resistance, HP, and crit damage, and that'll bring us to this piece. And then for the helmet, we are looking for accuracy, resistance, crit damage, and HP percentage. So that's already on him. I don't know why I searched for that. And then we are going to be looking for, of course, HP, resistance, and crit rate on this particular piece right here. So these are how the stats are going to look after. Again, quite a significant drop to the resistance, which is a little bit of a shame, and actually more of a drop to the accuracy as well. But we are, of course, going to equip this. We're going to go ahead and do some glyphing as well as some ascending. So we're going to go ahead and ascend the chest piece to 6 stars because it does have a HP ascension. We're going to go ahead and 6-star glyph that and hope we hit a good glyph. We didn't, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. Nothing. We don't want to glyph out for speed, obviously, just because, yeah, we don't want speed on this guy. He is decently slow, which is nice. In terms of total stats, you want his speed to be basically as low as possible for obvious reasons. We have a defense glyph that we'll throw in here. We have an HP glyph we'll throw in here. We will throw a resistance glyph on this as well, which is quite nice. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We have this pretty well glyphed out. Let's go ahead and throw that in. We'll get a resistance glyph on this as well. Maximum resistance. There we go. 16 on that. That's awesome. Is this glyphed out? This is not max glyphs. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll get a little bit more accuracy. Go ahead and get a little bit more resistance. And of course, we'll go ahead and get a little bit more HP. Let's go ahead and try to get some resistance glyphs on this as well. A max resistance glyph. That's big, actually. We're going to try and max the HP. We didn't. I'm going to save the rest of those. I have 26 of them, I think that said. Let's go ahead and rework here, actually, because this is a pretty decent set of boots. So if I can rework this into like an HP percentage, that is awesome. Let's go ahead and ascend that. I can't ascend it to level 6, unfortunately, because I don't have enough of medium pots. They definitely need to make it so that you can actually like kind of convert these. That would be quite nice. So this is how our new build is looking on the UDK. 96,000 on the HP, 3,900 on the defense, 124 on the speed, which is perfect, and 550 on the resistance. He's definitely not going to be resisting any super high level teams or anything like that, but I did want to put him first of all inside the Frostbite set. And then I did also want to have him inside the 2-piece, or like the 2-turn stone skin, so 6-piece stone skin set as well. I have him in Life Harvest currently. Something I was thinking about actually doing is switching him over to, I think it's Lightning Cage. Yeah, so Lightning Cage will protect another buff from being removed. So not sure what that was. There was a rat on him for just hanging out on his face there. That was weird. But essentially, so Lightning Cage combined with Stone Skin is ridiculous because if you're going against a speed, there's the rat again. Okay, if you're going against like a speed team or something like that, you can of course basically just get some stacks of Lightning Cage on there, and then it prevents that 50-50 of the Stone Skin being removed, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead, let's throw this guy into a few arena matches here and see how he can perform. Now of course UDK's bread and butter is going to be against some sort of a team that is primarily single target nukes, because that's kind of what he specializes at countering. Let's see, there's not a whole lot of single target damage dealers in the meta though, especially on defensive teams. A lot of them are just, you know, this might work well actually, because there's going to be a lot of AoE coming in, and then when they're AoEing, of course, there is going to be that chance for him to freeze them. So I think the Frostbite set is going to be a pretty good addition to the UDK build. This is how I'm going to be running them for a while, so I'm probably going to be churning out a little bit more live arena content here in the near future, so let me know if that's something that interests you guys. They are in the stone skin as well, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but let's go ahead and nuke them down. Now, I don't think the Frostbite can go through like a block debuffs or anything like that, but it can still obviously go through like a veil or those sorts of things. So the Frostbite isn't crazy, but having it on a champion like this is pretty sweet, I think. Just going to go ahead and see how long it takes us to hit down this team, and she should be dead. Venus is gone. Perfect. We got that cleanse coming in from the Marichka. As you can see as well, the UDK still basically just placing like the decrease max HP on them when they hit us is absolutely insane. He's nice and slow too, so he's been basically just taking a while to cycle his turns, which means he's still going to just keep absolutely absolutely tanking these hits, right? So if he has Stone Skin on still or whatnot. So he has the block damage he stole from us there, which is unfortunate. That is a fairly high accuracy Wukong as well, so he'd have to be about 300-400 accuracy, somewhere in there. My UDK is going to be able to resist people until they get into about the 400-450 accuracy range with this current build. So obviously if you're trying to get late game content out of them or those sorts of things, you might want to build them in a little bit higher resistance as well. We did take a hit of about 40 resistance on this build, which is a bit unfortunate, but there we go. We just have the Duchess left. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show you guys the whole Frostbite set in action, but I think once we actually start getting hit by champions that don't have the stone skin on, we'll be able to see it a little bit more. So hopefully they hit into us here, and hopefully we get some freeze procs. We haven't yet though. Of course, it is only a 10% chance, which is a bit rough, and they are probably about to die right here too. So yeah, there we go. That was a 1 minute and 57 fight, which is not too good by any means. Let's go ahead and just see if we can keep refreshing. Let's go ahead and see if there is a team like this where there's a lot of single target action going on. So both the Sifi and the Wukong are going to be single target. And then of course we do have the absolute best counter to Armand's, which is the Ankara Taurus Marichka combination. My UDK got stripped once again, so perhaps that decrease in resistance was a bit of a mistake. He's supposed to be a very high resistance champion, obviously, so yeah, because that's why. So the Wukong was able to absolutely blast us there because he's ignoring defense, and of course the UDK is getting his stone skin stripped. So we'll go ahead and we'll make a change to him here. We're going to change the blessing. My god, we're going to change the blessing to be the lightning cage. I'm not too worried about having the decreased max HP on the enemy team anyways, just because a lot of the fights do turn out to be just me absolutely blasting them with somebody like my Taurus. So let's go ahead and do this. Anytime they're going first, he's going to get some lightning cage stacks on him, which means that he is going to be resistant to, there you go, you already see the lightning cage stacks times 2, times 3, So now he's not going to be able to get that buff removed no matter how much accuracy they have, which is pretty cool. So he comes in and strips, can't remove it, no 50-50, you're done, you're out of here. You can see that played out quite a bit differently to the last time. So I think that change is going to be quite nice. And of course, we still do have the max HP decrease coming in from our, well, both from our Ankara and from our Marichka, which is quite nice. So they'll still be doing that job as well, although their awakening levels are not as high, but it is what it is. So you can see we speed farmed that team there, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go against a team like this. UDK isn't really going to be a kingpin in this situation just because, of course, he isn't going against any sort of single target nukers or anything like that, but it is what it is, I suppose. The only thing I'm worried about here is, of course, with the stone skin UDK, we might get bombs on us, but even if we do, that should be perfectly fine because the Marichka just straight up places a block damage on us whenever we receive a bomb, which is pretty sweet. And that's a stone skin arbiter, which is interesting. We got absolutely blasted there as well, but it didn't do a whole lot of damage. You can see UDK just took his first turn there, which is quite nice. And we're about to mop up here as well. Mithrala is down. And there we go. It is over. So a speed farm there. We will go ahead and run it finally against maybe a team like this, which does have a lot of single target capabilities. Let me know down in the comments what the stats are, and we got polymorphed off the start because of Taurus's passive. That's a bit rough, but it is what it is, I suppose. Let me know down in the comments what the stats are on your UDK if you use him, especially if you use him in live arena or something like that. I know most people, it seems, just end up building him very, very slow and very, very tanky. So kind of the whole theory behind this is I wanted to get him with a lot more HP because there's a lot of champions in the meta now that are doing, you know, kind of like a ignore defense sort of situation or those sorts of things, right? So Queen Ava, Sun Wukong, stuff like that. So having him with a stacked defense like I did with like 4,400 defense or whatever it was didn't really make a whole lot of sense when we only had 60k HP because you'd very easily get blasted still even without that. So you can see him still coming in here and taking up quite a few of these hits. So from both Sun Wukong, Sifi, as well as the Harima when she's doing anything except her A3, which is quite nice. And then he's so useful at basically just eating those Sifi A1s too. Like there's nothing that she can really do against your champions because it's so easy to just get essentially like, you know, locked into a situation where the Sifi is just continuously sleeping your team. But if that sleep is just going to UDK anyways, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And there we go. They are down. And of course, buffs couldn't be stolen. That's going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys for the support on the channel. It means a lot. And I'll see you in the next video.